I'm Sally. I work for the SIBS team here at Littlebridge House, and the SIBS team was formed back in 2003. A survey was sent out to the families, and it came back that the siblings felt unsupported at home and actually whilst they're in-house here when they were coming. So we got a lottery grant, I think it was, for the big lottery, and that funded us for 3 years, and then after that we get funding yearly to keep the service going. And siblings kind of do get left out unintentionally, but if you've got a sick brother or sister, then the parents are looking after them, so they don't get to do what we class as normal family things, like go to the cinema, go on outings, go to the park. Simple things are made really difficult because by the time they've loaded up their car with their poorly brother or sister, they might have a fit or a seizure, and then they have to unpack. So life is hard for them. So when they come here, we like to make them feel really, really special. We befriend them, build up lasting relationships, so they can talk to us about any of their worries or concerns. So whether that be end of life concerns, so we talk about what happens when you die. We have to use proper words, so not saying things like they've passed away or they've gone to sleep. We have to be direct and say death and dying, which is quite hard to say to a child, but they don't have all the baggage that we have as adults, so they understand it better. We also do lots of role play. When a poorly brother or sister comes in for end of life, we quite often end up playing things like doctors and nurses in soft play over there, and they'll like say, oh, I'm dying, I'm dead, and we have to reiterate to them that once you're dead you don't come back to life, because different ages have different beliefs around or different understanding of death. Okay, so we're here in messy play. This is where loads happens in here. We do messy paintings. They can get mess anywhere, it doesn't matter, because it's all wiped up, so they can really be messy. We do lots of things with handprints, footprints, fingerprints, because that's something that the families can keep then as well, so that's a memory, because this is all about building memories for the family. We do baking in here. Lots of our conversations are like meaningful, deep conversations happening here, because people are busy colouring, painting, doing whatever, so that the eye contact has gone, so people can open up a bit more. And sometimes it's a whole family come in here and all do an activity, which is just lovely. Sometimes it's very peaceful in here, other times it's buzzing, so you can never tell, but it's lovely. And the things, people go, oh, I'm not creative, and then they come out with this beautiful masterpiece. Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, we do cooking. We were doing slime, but that might be coming to a bit of an end, so that's sensory. We do corn flour, which is sensory again, and we do bubbles. Anything, if they want to do something, we do experiments. My colleague Nikki from the sibling team, she's quite a scientist-minded, so she was doing volcanoes the other day with bicarbonate of soda and vinegar, trying to make it erupt. We have Ranger Russ with his animals, who comes in when we do things like, I'm a Littlebridge House sibling, get me out of here, when the house gets jungled up and they get to eat weird, peculiar bugs and things, and he comes in with his giant snails and snakes. We have a lovely lady from Torbay, this is free of charge, she is, from Party Like a Princess, that comes in. She's been at our fete, she's been at our Frozen party, and she comes in to sing to the siblings dressed as a princess. She is a princess. And who else do we get to come in? Exmoor Zoo, they come in with their bugs. Pat dogs, Pets as Therapy. Got a few of them come in. We've got a storyteller coming in. We have local organisations that provide us with free entry to places, so like the Big Sheep, Milky Way, local places. We take the children there for trips out. We also, which is one of my passions, we do a teenage weekend once a year, which is off-site. We've been using Skern Lodge, which is about a quarter of an hour down the road, where we take a group of teenagers, it's usually about 8 or 9, maybe 12, depends who replies, and they go off, they do surfing, abseiling, canoeing, swimming, assault course, high ropes. They meet up, nobody's talking on the Friday night, and then by Saturday nobody wants to go to bed and they're all chatting. And that is another thing. One of the teenage girls, when we did an all-girl one, we had a 15-year-old girl come into our staff room in the evening, because we give them freedom to bond and, you know, have their teenage experience. She come in, and I still get all emotional when I think about it, because she said, "This is just brilliant. I've been sat on my bed talking and everybody gets it. They all know where I'm coming from." And I was like, that's what this is about, you know? And then they all, see, even now I get all like, oh, they stay in contact with each other. So they've got that peer support, which is fabulous. There's one in particular that sprung to mind as soon as you said that, was doing 36 hours a week of care. And he was 6 years old. So he's waking up in the middle of the night to help change pads so the parents can rest. And the parents didn't know that at the time, but when it was sort of monitored, works out he's doing 36 hours. That's like a full-time job on top of school at 6. And then that puts complications into his life, because he's tired when he's at school, so getting into trouble at school, and things develop that way. So then we can advise them to go to young carers and get support in for the family when they're at home as well. And that is the importance of coming here for that respite. It gives them a break from being carers for their brother or sister. The parents get a break, and the poorly brother or sister also get a break and well looked after. We're not counsellors here. I actually have a counselling qualification, but I can't do my counselling here. But we all, we're interested in what they're doing in their life and how they're feeling emotionally. And because they come here, when they're in here with another sibling, they don't have to explain that they've got a disabled or a poorly brother or sister. So everybody that comes here knows, they don't often know why it's a hospice or what a hospice is, but they know that their brother or sister is poorly or disabled. So they don't have to explain that. So they can kind of cut to the chase, basically, go straight in. Yeah, I've got a poorly brother or sister, and it's normal. It's all normalised, which is, I think, a bit of relief for them, because a lot of our siblings we hear get bullied at school, and as I said earlier, they don't live a normal life. They won't have sleepovers. They have embarrassment attached to their disabled brother or sister because of the bullying that comes from that, which is huge. You know, being a child, and definitely a teenager, is hard enough without any added extras. We're here to say that's okay. You can talk to us and give them coping strategies to help improve that if we can. Where our office is situated, we're in the heart of the house. So we used to be in the toy cupboard right at the end of the corridor, but being where we are now, our doors are open, and parents come in and have conversations and share their worries and concerns. Also, when we're trying to organise events, it does take quite a bit to get these things done and get them together and to run smoothly. But the thing that I've learned from the time that I've been here, and that's quite a while now, is that no matter how many plans you put into place in this house, you've just got to go with what it is. You can't, things change, like literally minute by minute, so you can't have any hard, fast plan. You can have a basic outline. But yeah, when the whole house does things, and that includes like the affected children, the parents and the siblings and the carers, and they all go out. We did a brilliant one just before Christmas down the cafe, Queen's Anne Cafe. Everybody come, and local families were invited to that as well. And there was a real buzz, because it's not very often that everybody manages to get to do something. And it was just the timings were right with lunch and everything else, and everybody's feeds, and it was brilliant. And they had face painting, and they met Father Christmas, and it was like, oh, yeah, really good buzz. I wish I could read you a card that we've had from bereaved siblings, recently bereaved siblings. So this is from bereaved siblings of a lad that died Christmas Day this year. And we haven't seen them yet, sadly, but she'll be going to the funeral on Wednesday next week. So I do get all emotional because it's very touching. So dear Sally, Nikki and Adele, so that's the sib team that was when they were here. We have Eleanor now as well. We wish that we didn't have to write this, but it is time for us to say our final thank you. Thank you for the last 8 years. We are thankful for every sibling. Sorry, I've got a... Well, thank you for every sibling weekend we had the privilege to attend. We had so much fun and made some amazing friends, thanks to you. We are thankful for every film we all sat and watched and made us feel at home. Thank you for all the day trips, including the Milky Way and the Big Sheep, especially the bouncy pillows, because they're my favourite. We are thankful for the times you let us just sit and talk. They were sometimes definitely needed. Thank you for being some of the most kindest, caring people who ever entered our lives. You've truly made our teenage years so much easier and helped us into the people we are today. Though we cannot put it into words, we hope you understand just how brilliant you are and how magical you've made the last few years. We will always keep you in our hearts, and I hope you'll know we'll never forget you or Little Bridge House. And Mum and Dad are just as grateful as we are. So farewell, hugs and kisses, we love you. They're offered a bereavement visit, so they'll come back with their family for a weekend. They then can come back to our bereavement weekends that we do, or bereavement days. But as a sibling team now, we're actually expanding our service a bit more to go out and do outreach to bereaved siblings, which we found really valuable. We'll go and take them out maybe for lunch if they're old enough to go out for lunch. And it's just, I don't think we realise what an impact although we're in a tiny part of their lives, Little Bridge House is a massive part. They love coming here, they love running down to soft play, or coming in here doing art stuff, or going out on the swing or the sandpit, or watching a film. And it's all things that trigger memories for how it was with them when their brother or sister was here. So not only do they lose their brother or sister, they lose the use of here, the inside of here. But we try and keep in touch. And we're there as long as we need them. And only, I think it was last year, we had a older sibling he's now working. So I think he was about late 20s, and he'd had a child, and he contacted us and wanted to come back and visit because it would have been his brother's, who's dead, 21st birthday, and he wanted to celebrate that, and he wanted his new wife and his son to know about his uncle and where he had fun and all that. So it was magical for him to come back. I'd never met him, felt like I'd known him forever, and he come back and we did a tour and seen what things had changed and what things hadn't. And now he's doing fundraising because he's like, oh, I just don't realise how much this place meant to me and my brother. So they kind of go, but we're still there, I think. Say that sometimes if we've got an end of life in-house and then they die in-house, we sometimes have to explain to the siblings that their brother or sister has died, because the parents are so emotionally involved with what is actually going on and saying goodbye that they can't bring themselves to do it. So that's quite a difficult thing, I find personally, to do that. But we do it, and we'll also support the siblings by attending the funeral if needed. We don't go to everyone, but if they request us or we think it would benefit them, then we will go along with the care team. My favourite thing is the teenagers, because I love them and I love their energy and their cheekiness and everything. But I also love when you know that you've done a good job and you've helped as best you can in an abnormal situation. You've made it as normal and as manageable as possible. And you get letters like that to go, actually, we've done okay there. And the laughter. See, I think that's really important in this bit, because I think people out there in the big wide world hear the word hospice and they go, oh, it must be really dull and sad, and it's couldn't be further from the truth. This place is just full of light and laughter and joy and craziness, and like anything goes. It really does. And yeah, always expect the unexpected. Kept on your toes. Yeah.